Guys. We are starting a new unit on we're just calling it World War II and after. That's what this WW2 is for, World War II. So we'll be covering chapters 16 and 17 in our Northern Lights textbook. So make sure you guys look closely at all the images and read everything that's on the side and fill in the blanks on your note sheet from the red parts. Okay, so like I said, World War II, that's what this WWII is. So this is the second World War between the Allies and the Axis that got involved most of the planet. So if we think back to World War I, we had the Allies and the Central Powers, but our two sides in World War II are the Allies and the Axis. So here it says the two sides were very similar to the sides in World War I, but World War II involved much more Asian countries, and the United States joined the fight after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. So here on our pictures, it said this is a bomb, and it's engraved on it to the Axis from USSR and USA. And here we have soldiers raising up an American flag. So we're going to learn about what the word draft means. So the draft is to select and require people to serve in the military, something we still have today. So during World War II, the United States needed a lot of soldiers, and America required all men ages 21 to 45 to register to be drafted into the military. Roughly 20% of all American men joined the military during World War II. And like I said, this draft is still something that we have today. So the Cold War. So this is the intense political conflict between the United States, or the U.S., and the Soviet Union after World War II ended. So I know we're covering a lot of time here, but so we went from, if we think about our timeline, we had World War I, then we went into the Jazz Age, then we went into the Great Depression, then we went into World War II, and now we're going into the Cold War. So after World War II, America and the Soviet Union, which is now Russia, but back then it was the Soviet Union, became enemies, and they threatened to bomb each other with nuclear weapons. So the U.S. Were the capitalists, and the Soviet Unions were the communists, and they continued to fight based on these beliefs of communism versus capitalism, which are economic or money views and beliefs. So here we can see some pictures. So this is a fist with the United States flag on it, and this is the Soviet Union flag. And here, so if you guys remember from World War I, we had Uncle Sam. So here he's sitting with his pile of money and with the flag, and here the bear and his outfit represents the Soviet Union and his flag. So it looks like they're about ready to hit each other. Okay, so now let's talk about capitalism. So we know the Cold War was fought between the United States and the Soviet Union because of money views. So one of those money views was capitalism. So this is the economic system. Remember, economics is all related to money. So this is the economic system where homes and businesses were privately owned by people. So this is something that we still use in America today. So people can own their own homes, they can own their own businesses, you get your own money and you do your own things with it, and it's no one else's business but your own. That's what capitalism believes. So capitalist governments believe that when individual people and companies own things, they can get richer and have more freedom. So if you think about monopoly, to win monopoly, you have to own the most property. You need to have the most money and make sure no one else has money. So that's kind of an extreme of capitalism. So in capitalism, you own your own businesses, homes, to try to get the most money so you can have the most freedom. The other side of this is communism. So this is the economic system where homes and businesses are owned by the government for the benefit of all citizens. Communist countries believe that the government should control many things to help make life fair and even for everyone who lives there. So, communism, the government owns all the land, they own all the buildings, all the homes, and then they divide them up and share them. So let's say if you're in a city of 100 people, you divide the land in equal amounts of land for 100, and everyone gets their own little spot, right? Everyone has to share, and things are equal. So the government is in control, so they can make things fair and equal. Whereas, remember, communism, it's like monopoly. You're trying to get the most and have the most for yourself. Communism is all about trying to make it equal and fair. So here is just a political poster. So it looks like it says making fun of communism. Here we see all the headstones for countries that use communism, and then they're all dying because they're headstones in a graveyard. And here's Uncle Sam on a boat with the USA riding on by, having a good time. Okay, so those are your vocab. Make sure you filled those in red. Now we're going to kind of go over some notes. So what was World War II? World War II started when Germany began taking over countries in Europe. So Germany teamed up with Japan and Italy to form the Axis powers, or the Axis, okay? And then England, France, the Soviet Union, which I said is now Russia, teamed up and they created the Allies. So fill in these blanks. Nearly every country on Earth was involved in World War II in some way, whether they were fighting, supporting, or being used by other countries. World War II was the most bloody war in human history. Here in this picture, you can see up here it says Allies. So here's the flags of the countries that were on the Allies. So it's the Soviet Union, the United States, the United Kingdom, which is England, and France. And then on the axis we have Germany, Italy, and Japan. So how did America get involved in World War II? After Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, which was a naval base where the Navy kept all of their boats and ships like at docks, Japan bombed them. So here you can see a picture of that. So after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, FDR, our president, remember Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he decided to have America join the Allies, so the opposite team of Japan. So many Minnesota men were drafted into the military. Remember, a draft is when they are forced to join the military. And most women were supporting from the home front. Most women supported the home front in similar ways to World War I. So a lot of them were nurses, took up jobs in factories to continue to make supplies for the war, and they cared for the children. Some Minnesota women did join the Air Force to help fight in Europe. So here you can see a woman flying a jet to help fight with the Air Force. And here you can see a group of women nurses that helped in the war. So what happened in the end? Germany was eventually defeated in Europe by American and British soldiers. Japan did not surrender until the United States dropped 2 atom bombs on them. And so number 3, what you need to fill in. After World War II, the Soviet Union and America threatened each other during the Cold War. So after World War II ended, we go into this Cold War where the United States and the Soviet Union in World War II were on the same side. They were both allies, but now in the Cold War, they're fighting against each other. The Cold War lasted many years, and both sides threatened each other and used other countries to do their fighting. Here we can see people celebrating that World War II is over. Here's that same picture about communism and capitalism fighting against each other. And here we can see more people celebrating the end of World War II. Their newspapers say the Nazis give up, which happened in World War II. So make sure you upload your note sheet into Schoology. I know we just covered a lot, but we will go and practice with this a lot more in the next couple days. So if you'd like to learn more, please look and read at chapters 16 and 17 in your textbook. So you can go to Northern Lights app. A lot of you already have it because we used it during the school year. The username is 625student and your password is treaty15 with an exclamation mark. And then you can look at this time in history by looking at chapters 16 and 17. Thanks, guys. Let us know if you have any questions.